Hey, you guys, we're back. As we promised. Cheers, girl.
Yes, cheers.
We weren't going to be hanging. Okay, the wine is already, usually I'm going to pour the wine, but it's already open because we were shooting some content with some wine, which you'll see. It's kind of silly.
No, it's very funny and it's very informative as well.
Yes.
And today's wine is a Savvy Bee sponsored by
I'm going to just say Cavalis.
Cavalis. Yes, it's a Chilean wine, super crisp.
Our favorite.
I taste notes of like green apple and even like possibly pear. What about you?
Okay, definitely pear, but it's also so crisp. Like it's like the perfect amount.
Oh my gosh.
Of crispy.
Have this with like a little charcuterie board, honey. Yes. Some grapes.
Next time.
Have a good time.
Yes. Okay, well, first of all, last time I realized that we didn't like introduce ourselves. Like, so how long have you been a lender?
Yes. So again, I am Lynn with Tiff. I work for Verity Mortgage, and I've been a lender as long as my son has been alive. So 7 years.
Wow. Jetty was the game changer.
Yes, Jetty was the game changer. So that's how I know how long I've been in the business.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I've been with my company for 6 years in May.
Got it.
Yeah. So
okay. And your background before that was?
Insurance. Homeowners insurance. Okay. Yep. And then before that, just corporate communications. Okay. And a little bit of sports management. So a little bit of everything. Oh. Yeah.
Okay. I just figured, I was like, I feel like we need to like get to know you.
Yes. But we know each other.
We know each other. But I just figured last time we just kind of jumped right into it, which
we did.
Is good. What's your favorite type of pizza?
Oh, we're going there? That's okay. Ooh. I like anything hot honey right now. So like a pepperoni with like some hot honey, some basil.
Okay.
Like even some hot like sausage on there.
Okay.
So like a meat lovers with some hot honey sauce. Like I'm a spicy girl.
So the first time I ever tried hot honey was at Eno's Pizza in Bishop Arts.
Ooh. I've been there like years ago. Okay. But it's been a while. So.
Okay. You guys, it's so good.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's get to the fun stuff.
Yes.
So, I mean, lately, it's not as hard for buyers to win a contract, right? But there was a time when it was.
Yes.
And
I was in the market during that time.
Yeah. And when it was, the sellers were raising their prices of their home, making it more competitive for the buyers.
Yes.
And we had to get really creative with offers. And so I wanted to ask you from your perspective, what makes a buyer look more... what's the word I'm looking for?
Attractive.
Stronger, attractive, without being the highest priced offer?
That's a really good question because I will have listing agents reach out to me and they'll say, hey, we had like other offers that were higher. However, we like the fact that your buyer was already pre-underwritten. So they already were pre-approved. So the question is, or the big difference is like a lot of people will provide their documents up front, which is great. But I take it a step further and I already pushed you through into underwriting. So that way the underwriter verifies all the income, verifies all the documentation, your employment, your assets, just to make sure you're good to go. And that's how you're pretty much like a cash offer, right? Yeah. Because something could fall through if they're offering a higher price, but they haven't been pre-underwritten, they haven't been pre-approved. You know?
Now we already know.
Now you already know. And I think that just provides like a sense of ease. I always try to reach out to the listing agent and just have that conversation. Yes. And I've even gotten contracts too. It's like, oh, I've seen you before on something else. So I think representation matters. It really depends on who you work with. And it doesn't matter the years you've been in the business. It's just like how consistent, how do you show up, and are you getting the job done?
No, and you make a good point. I think we last month we talked about like developing a good team around the buyers.
Yes, we did.
And something that I think you do a great job of is getting on the phone with the listing agent and letting them hear that security in your voice. I've already vetted this buyer.
Yes.
They're a strong buyer. No, we are maybe 5,000 below your highest offer, but we will have no surprises.
Yes.
You know, and so I think the other thing too is we have an amendment called the third-party financing amendment.
Yes, third-party financing.
Yes. And so the shorter that number is, the only way we can make it short is if we've already vetted.
Yep, pre-underwritten.
Yes. So we've already done the work. So I can say, hey, we don't even need
0 days.
Any days. To be able to prove to you that this person is
good to go,
a strong buyer.
Yep.
So in the past, during that time, I did win a lot of offers because even if we weren't the highest offer, like when I tell you, again, people were giving away their children. They were like, I own a pizza shop. Come get free pizza for a year. Like the offers were getting crazy.
Yes.
So we had to get so creative, but I think that sometimes people submit an offer and they just get quiet. getting on the phone and building that relationship with the listing agent too just makes them want to work with you.
100%.
So,
I will say every time I do that, the response I get is, thank you so much for calling. This just means so much to me and my seller. I mean, it's a simple phone call. I don't know why a lot of people aren't doing it.
I know. Well, hopefully they don't.
Yeah. Listen, so we can get it. We can get it done.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think the whole like team effort is huge.
Yes.
Well, and that being said too, I mean, during that time, like everybody wanted to buy.
Yes.
And so because of the low interest rates, which my personal opinion is that when the interest rates lowered, people are paid higher for their home, and now it's harder for them to sell their home for a price that they want because they overpaid for the house. So
yes.
It's tricky, and I understand it. Like, I mean, it's demand, right?
Yes.
So that gave sellers and builders, you know, the power to be able to raise their prices to a point where it just made it harder.
It made it harder. I have a client right now that purchased back in like 2021. She wants to refinance, but we don't have any equity in the property because now the value is lower because she overbid it on the property to purchase it.
Yes.
So
yeah. And I this is going in kind of a different topic that I planned on, but it made people feel rushed, and they were just like, oh, I've put in 12 offers. I won this one. Fine.
Yeah.
5 years later, you're wanting to sell your property. And unfortunately, since you offered $60K over asking with no appraisal waiver or anything, you are not making, sometimes people are paying to get out of it. It's
yes.
I feel bad, and it just sucks. And it's just something that I just want to make sure people are knowledgeable about. So, but now with buyers, it's a little bit easier.
It is.
Yeah. Sellers are, you know, kind of the opposite. You know, they're like, please buy my house.
Yes. I'm getting seller concessions left and right on my contracts.
Yeah.
But I will say now with this market,
interest
rates are dropping. So when anytime interest rates drops, buyers flood the market. I've got an uptick in home loan applications, just people inquiring about purchasing a home.
Yep. Just this past week, I've had 3 new buyer consultations.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Which we weren't really doing before.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm glad it's actually getting more steady.
Yep.
I think it's a good, you know.
Absolutely. Good flow.
But I say all that to say, because I do get a lot of first time home buyers.
Sure.
We talked about DPA.
Yes.
And
down payment assistance.
Yes. Yeah. We're acronyms. I forget that we have to break that down sometimes. When we talk about down payment assistance programs, here's what I think and what I see.
Yes,
and you can tell me.
Sure.
You're the expert. So I feel like sometimes I've noticed when someone wants to go DPA, we've switched to a regular conventional because it looked better as far as their monthly interest rates and everything. So tell me about down payment assistance programs, when they're great and when they're not.
Ooh, that is a very, very good question. So down payment assistance is a good tool. Do not get me wrong. It's really geared and I want to say tailored for those individuals where they might be able to afford the monthly mortgage payment, but they just don't have thousands of dollars saved up towards their down payment, right? And so it's really for those low to moderate income families. So it does provide you the assistance to get into a home, which is great, right? However, there's some stipulations on the back end, right? There are some that are forgivable. So typically it's a 3-year forgivable second lien. You can live in the home. If you stay there for 3 years, then you don't have to pay the money back. That is a slightly higher interest rate. The lower interest rate of the down payment assistance program is a silent second lien, and it's a 30-year deferred silent second lien. So it stays on there for the life of the loan, right? Unless you sell or you refinance. If you sell or you refinance, then you do have to pay that money back to the down payment assistance company. But it's not money out of your own pocket. This is money coming from the equity of your home. So it's still a plus, but it just depends. Like I would say a lot of my clients still take advantage of it if it makes sense. But I also have a lot of clients that are interested. I'm like, hey, let's compare apple to apples. It doesn't really make sense for you to get down payment assistance. You qualify for a much lower interest rate. Your mortgage insurance, which is also part of your monthly payment, is a lot lower. Let's try to get seller concessions. Let's see if there's anything that we can do to help lower your monthly payment. But we have a client under contract.
I was just going to bring him up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, same thing. I think going into it, we were all like, gun-ho is the bright, what's that phrase? Guns a-blazing?
Yes, guns a-blazing, yes.
Okay, I don't know why I was going to add some extra words in there. Guns a-blazing.
Guns a-blazing.
For down payment assistance. And then we got to it and we got into the nitty gritty and we were like, no, actually, this is going to make this so much better if we don't use it and we go the conventional route.
Yes, and I think the biggest thing too is like really showing the buyer apples to apples, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like let's show the comparison and how much savings you're going to have over time, not using the down payment assistance, because it's really not savings, right?
Right.
It's really not.
You're just paying it later.
You're paying it later. You're borrowing the money now and then paying it back later because it's essentially a loan.
Right.
It's essentially a loan.
Yeah. I mean, it goes into kind of like the instant gratification thing. So like right now at the closing table, maybe you'll save $10,000.
Yes.
Let's just say that's the case. I'm throwing out a number.
Sure.
But your interest rate is higher, so your monthly is higher. Yeah. So it just kind of, I mean, apples to apples, decide what works for you. Sometimes people are okay with a higher monthly, but maybe they have less cash. So
it's really geared for those that just don't have the cash available. When I say cash, I'm talking about your checking account, savings account, 401k, retirement. You can pull from that as well. If you have any investment accounts, you can get gift funds from a family member. So there's a majority of ways to have access to the funds, but if you just do not have it, then it's readily available for you. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I think like it sounds like there's also tons of programs for all different types of things.
Oh my gosh. I just got signed up. We just got signed up with my company. It's a down payment assistance toolkit. Mm-hmm. So I can literally put in different factors like the zip code, how much this person makes, what's their credit score, what's the household income. And it floods me with a whole bunch of different programs.
Interesting.
So now I can kind of just pick and choose, or I can kind of give them recommendations.
Yeah.
But yes, to your point, there's a ton of programs out there. What works best for your financial situation at this time?
Okay. Well, I mean, that kind of leads me into interest rates.
Yes.
So, or I'm sorry, credit scores.
Yes. Okay.
So with credit scores, it changes sometimes where with an FHA, you need this credit score. With a conventional loan, you need this credit score. Where are we now? And why does this number change sometimes?
So very good point. Mm-hmm. So conventional, they basically got rid of a minimum credit score requirement. Okay. It used to be a 620. Now they're like, hey, you just need the automatic underwriting approval. Well, typically there's other factors that's involved in that.
Right.
Lower debt to income ratio. Mm-hmm. So lower debt to income ratio, you make really good money, you have very little debt. You have a ton of reserves. Reserves is just extra money in the bank, just kind of sitting there. So 401k would count with that. Savings, any type of investments, if you invest in crypto, whatever that looks like, that could count.
Okay.
But I typically like to see 660 or above for conventional approval. Okay. Even though it says, oh, you might get approved at a 620. Well, if you don't have all these other things in line, you might not get approved.
Right.
People scream all the time, FHA, you just need a 580. Well, I don't get an automatic approval at a 580.
Exactly. There's other factors.
There's other factors. So like, we just want to keep it real with you guys, because even though on paper it's not black and white, there are other like factors involved in order for you to get approved through underwriting. Because think about it, you're lending, receiving a couple $100,000 to purchase a home. What's your financial situation like? Do you have the ability to repay back the loan?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys have to feel like your buyer is someone you can rely on.
100%. That's what it comes down to.
And the proof matters, right? Yeah. So like all these factors, their history, their current, that shows me, or it shows you guys, this person is in good standings. They're going to continue being in good standings. Yes. Like there's proof that's involved.
Yes, absolutely. And I understand life happens. Like you may be good to go now and something happens, you lose your job or what have you, parents get sick and you got to go take care of them. But at the beginning and during this time, we want to make sure that you can repay back the loan, because we're lending you this money. We are the bank.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good point. I think too, I mean, since we're kind of on this topic, I try really hard to make sure that our clients are prepared to have to give you documents. Ooh. Right? Listen, and I think that
y'all don't understand.
No, I do my best, because I want them to know that this is very fun. It can be really fun, and it's such a huge accomplishment.
It is amazing.
Any huge accomplishment takes work.
It does.
It is a lot of work. Like and I know just from we've witnessed this before, when buyers get so frustrated when they're asked for things.
Yes.
So, I think working together as a team just to make sure that they're prepared to send XYZ, which also goes to your point of doing all this before.
Yes.
You know, like not when we're in the thick of,
oh no,
you know, running around. Like they're still going to ask for some things, right?
Some things, but if we can get all that up front, because you
Right.
guys are dealing with inspections, you guys are dealing with
Mhm.
repairs, you guys are dealing with, you know, y'all are dealing with a lot,
Right.
you know? So if I can take a little bit off of the buyer's plate and do
Yeah.
that up front before they're immersed under contract,
Yeah.
everything's going to be a lot more smoother for all parties involved.
Right. I think that's really, I mean, I think that's the best way to go regardless. Do as much as you possibly can to know exactly where you are approved for, because
Yes.
like you said, during the process, there's other things. They're packing.
Yes.
They're packing up their house. Like there's
Very
so much
good point.
And I'm not even saying like, I get it. Like, I know you might need a tax return. You might need a new pay stub. You might need something else. I just like to make sure that our buyers know that this can happen.
Yes.
But I know that we get pushback.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can lead to just like a buyer getting very frustrated. And they're like, I've already sent a pay stub. I've already blah, blah. And it's just one of those things, right? And it sucks because you know, you want it to be such a happy moment.
Of course.
But if we're being super realistic,
Transparent.
did you play sports?
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
what'd you do?
I ran track.
Okay. You got up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. every day?
Oh, yes.
Sprinted track.
I was a mid-distance runner, but I still sprinted.
I was a basketball player and volleyball player. We were up every day.
Oh, you know it did.
Yeah, and I try to relate it back to whatever anybody does. Like even if we have a client that works really hard to get the job that they currently have, you had to get your resume together.
Yes.
You had to submit your resume. You maybe had to network in places you weren't comfortable with. Like there's things that you have to do.
Interview process, right?
And I'm gonna get on a little soapbox. Because I think that sometimes when buyers are in this situation, they want the house, but not necessarily always wanting to do the work.
Come on.
And I need for us to start remembering that anything that is a huge accomplishment in your life, we can go from marriage, we can go from having your first child,
come on,
to getting your dream job, to buying your first dream house or your first home. It takes work.
Yes.
So I just want to say, because I know we've experienced, I just have some grace for your listeners because they're only asking for what they need to get you in. Like, that's it.
That's it.
So I'm happy to be working with you. I think that
typically
our clients, I mean, actually,
all of them.
Yeah, they're always very happy.
For us too, yes. It's always been such a pleasant experience.
Smooth, yeah.
We've had clients afterwards like, hey, where can I write a 5-star review at?
Yes.
I'm like, okay, let me send you the link.
Right. And honestly too,
that's amazing.
Yeah, we one of our things that we always say is like, once a client, always a client.
Yes.
Call us for anything even after the fact. I mean, I think we both handled that the same way.
For life.
Yeah.
For life, we got your back.
Yes. Yes.
Cheers, friend.
Yes. Cheers. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, Uncorked.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
Oh my God, you guys, we have a name.
We do. Okay, tell them. We're unreveal.
Okay, it's unreveal.
I know.
Okay, we're Uncorked with Tay and Tiff.
Yes.
Obviously the wine had something to do with that, but also too, we want to just talk about the real.
Yes.
You know, we want to make sure half the questions I come up with are questions I've gotten throughout the week.
Correct.
I just want to make sure that we are answering questions that people are wondering whether or not you want to call and ask. But also feel free to call and ask, text us, DM us. We'll throw them into our channels because if you're thinking about it, somebody else's. So
absolutely, yeah. And like she said too, this is the real. This is raw and uncut.
Yeah.
Because it's not so glamorous. It's not rainbows and ponies all the time. You know, it's nitty and it's gritty. So if you guys have questions, please put them in the comments so that way we can address them on next week's episode.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you for joining us on Uncorked with Tay and Tiff.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers again. I'm drinking now.
Yes.
Bye.